Hello. Fine. Okay. So, chalo then. We'll start with. I think yesterday we couldn't complete this, right? Way forward. What are the measures to overcome the issues regarding SARC? So the first measure is that. So can you make a note of it? I think we completed first two measures, right? I think strengthening economic cooperation and say promoting regional connectivity. These two measures have been completed, I believe. So what was the last point that we discussed yesterday? Last point that we discussed yesterday. Yes, you're not visible, audible. Seema, guys, uh, economic cooperation, right? Okay, fine. Okay, no, Seema, it's visible and audible. There's some technical issue from your side, I believe. Okay, so write down here. So the next point is, second point is, how do we resolve the issues that is there in SAR? The second point is promoting regional connectivity. So write down, second point is promoting regional connectivity. Okay, Ria, fine, fine. Okay, second point is write down promoting regional connectivity. Promoting regional connectivity. Promoting regional connectivity. Fine. So third point is addressing security challenges through cooperation. Addressing, yeah, that is okay. Addressing security challenges. Addressing security challenges through cooperation. Addressing security challenges through cooperation. Fine. And the next one is fourth one is enhancing people to people contact. Enhancing people to people contact. Enhancing people to people contact. So these are the broad ways through which we can overcome the issues in SARC. So from 2016 onwards, SARC is not properly functioning. So as an alternative, we have something called as a BBIN. So write down here BBIN. So from say 2016 onwards, SARC isn't functioning properly. The reason being that there's a bilateral dispute between India and Pakistan. So India is not going to SARC. Because India is not going to SARC, many other countries are not participating in SARC. As India is a big player in SARC. So because India is not going, many other players are not entering into SARC discussion as such. And SARC has become defunct. It's not functioning anymore. So, but however, we if you're writing an answer in UPSC, you should tell that SARC is important. We need to revive SARC. So that has to be your stance. Fine. So now let us take BBIN. So what is BBIN? So write down here BBIN. BBIN initiative. BBIN. So what is BBIN? So BBIN is your Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal. BBIN is right down here. BBIN is it's a regional group. It's a regional subgrouping of regional subgroup of SARC. It is a regional subgroup. It is a subgroup of SARC. It is a subgroup of SARC. So BBIN is the member countries are Bhutan, the member countries are Bhutan, Bangladesh, India, and Nepal. So these are the member countries. So again, Bhutan, the BBIN is seen as an alternative mechanisms to promote the regional cooperation as SARC isn't functioning properly. So it is a sub-regional grouping of the South Asian countries. Again, the main emphasis is given on trade and transport. So the main emphasis in BBIN is focused on trade and transport. So what happened, since along with SARC, so we had something called as a BBIN in 2015. That is in 2015. Again, the objective under BBIN is to mainly to promote. So write down here in the important objectives. Important objective of BBIN. Important objective of BBIN. Important objective of BBIN. So subheading is important objective of BBIN. So again here I don't to promote to promote to promote regional cooperation, to promote regional cooperation and and connectivity 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 between member states between member states. Fine. So that is the main aim. So again here there's no security aspects as such. So that those are like trivial. The main objective of BBIN is to promote the economic cooperation. So how do we promote the economic cooperation? By enhancing the connectivity network. If there is a proper roadways or say railways between these four countries, it would help. It would help in increasing the trade between these trade and investments between these countries, so that there would be regional integration. So if you see European Union model, in European Union, why European Union is considered seen as a successful entity, a successful region grouping? Because in European Union there are proper connectivity network between all the countries. So between all the countries there are proper connectivity network. No country is completely isolated. But whereas if you consider SARC, within SARC members there are no proper connectivity as such, in the sense there's no proper highway between say Pakistan and Nepal, or say Pakistan via India and Nepal, or say Pakistan to Bangladesh. There are no proper highways as such. So but in this BBIN, in order to develop, in order to integrate in order to increase the cooperation among these four countries, more emphasis was laid out on in terms of connectivity. So how to increase connectivity? So what happened in 2015? BBIN motor vehicle agreement was signed. So what is this BBIN motor vehicle agreement? So right on here, BBIN motor vehicle agreement 2017. BBIN motor vehicle agreement. So key agreements under BBIN. Key agreements under BBIN. So right on here, BBIN motor vehicle agreement 2015. BBIN motor vehicle agreement 2015. Yeah, fine. I think it's visible now, right? There are no shadows as such, no? Okay, so BBN Motor Vehicle Agreement 2015. So what is this BBN Motor Vehicle Agreement? If you just see the image, you'll get a better idea. So this BBN Motor Vehicle Agreement aims to develop the highways between these four countries. So this was the BBN network. Say this is Nepal, Bhutan, India, Bangladesh. So in India, Bangladesh, that is more emphasis was laid out on say West Bengal region and northeastern region, that is connecting West Bengal northeast with Bangladesh, Nepal and Bhutan. So this was the BBIN network. So that was planned and we haven't implemented it. I'll tell you the reason why we haven't implemented it. So this was a good plan. So if we have a proper highway network, what the aim was that once if we develop a proper highway network, it would help in terms of trade. It would help in terms of trade and investment, and secondly it is going to build proper cultural relation, and that is enhance the people to people contact, and thirdly it will help in terms of say disaster management, proper disaster management. If there is any disaster over here, we can easily mobilize the resources. So these were the aims for this BB network. So write down here a simple few lines. regarding the BB network, BB motor vehicle agreement was signed in. It was signed in 2015. It was signed in 2015 to develop highways to develop highways between the member states to develop highways between the member states between the member states. Okay. It allowed it allowed for it allowed for mutual recognition. It allowed for mutual recognition of driving license permits driving license permits, vehicle registration, vehicle vehicle registration, and simplifying simplifying cross border cross border transport procedure cross border transport procedure. So this was the aim, that is to construct highways where it recognized each other's driving license, permits, vehicle registration. Basically, the agenda was to simplify the cross-border movements. That is, it will help in, because if we simplify the cross-border movements, it will help in increasing the trade, increasing tourism, increasing people to people contact. So if due to trade, tourism, and people to people contact, this region would further get integrated. So if due to further integration, it is going to benefit all the member states. So that was the agenda. So write down here this agreement. So write down below this, write down this agreement aimed aimed to promote trade, tourism, aimed to promote aimed to promote trade, trade, tourism, trade, tourism, and people to people contact. Trade, tourism, and people to people contact within the within the member states, among the member state, amongst the member state, or within the member states. Okay, so again here, so what is the advantage? So because of BB network, new road infrastructures would be created. The cost of commercial vehicles transportation would come down. So the trade costs would come down. So as a reason, it would further increase in the trade. And these are the objectives. And another objective was that easy mobilization. Just in the objectives, one line, just squeeze in one line, that is easy mobilization of resources, easy mobilization of resources easy mobilization of resources during disaster during disaster. Okay. So it's for just write 4 points. Benefits in simple language, right? Benefits. What are the benefits of this BBN agreement? One is reduced trade reduced trade cost, and the next one is enhanced connectivity, enhanced connectivity. Third one is boost economic growth. Fourth one is promote regional integration. Promote regional integration. promote regional integration. So this was the agenda. So these are the benefits. So this motor vehicle agreement. So what happened? It was proposed in 2015, but what happened to it? So challenges were there. What are the challenges? The main challenge was, so right on here, challenges for its implementation. Challenges for its implementation. So in 2015 all the four countries signed this agreement, that is Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India signed this agreement, but it was not implemented. So why it was not implemented, we'll see to it. Challenges for its implementation. The main reason why it was not implemented was that Bhutan objected this agreement. So right on, challenges for its implementation. Bhutan did not ratify. Bhutan didn't ratify. Bhutan didn't ratify ratify the agreement. Ratification in the sense acceptance. So Bhutan did not ratify the agreement. So why it did not ratify the agreement? The reason it was discussed in Bhutan's parliament was that if we accept this agreement, a lot of vehicle would enter into Bhutan. If a lot of vehicle enters into Bhutan, it will lead to pollution. And secondly, in order to construct highways, a lot of trees have to be there has to be a lot of deforestation. So there needs to be a lot of felling of trees. So because of that, again it is going to impact the environment of Bhutan. So stating this reasons, the parliament of Bhutan did not accept this agreement, that is Bibin agreement, Bibin motor vehicle agreement. So right down here, Bhutan did not ratify, stating the environmental concerns. Bhutan did not ratify, stating the environmental concerns. Stating the environmental concerns. Stating the environmental concern. Is it clear? So is it a good reason to not to ratify? What do you guys think? So is it a good reason that Bhutan is telling that because of this agreement, if we sign this agreement, a lot of vehicular movement would be there in Bhutan, and this would affect the environment. And secondly, because of construction of highways, there would be a lot of deforestation. So is it a good move? Okay, fine. Okay, yeah. It's a sustainable approach. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so and the second reason why it did not pick up was that lack of capital investment. Lack of capital investment. So right on here, lack of capital investment for the construction of highways. Lack of capital investment for the construction of highways. So another challenge that was faced was that we did not have money. So that is, neither India had money, or say Bangladesh or Bhutan or Nepal, we did not have money for the capital investment in order to construct new highways. So these are the two important challenges. Because of that, it did not start. That is, it wasn't ratified as such. So this is motor vehicle agreement. So on the same lines, we had one that is the idea was proposed regarding a rail agreement, Bibin rail agreement. So or the idea was that after the completion of this Bibin motor vehicle agreement, after the completion of this roadways along this region, so this was the Bibin network, that is roadways. The aim was that under Bibin rail agreement, along this roadways, now we will start constructing the railways. So that was the aim under Bibin rail agreement. Now that the roadways has still not been implemented, and there's no probably at least in the near future, there's no scope for implementing Bibin rail agreement, because Bibin rail agreement, the aim under Bibin rail agreement was that along the roadways, along the motor vehicular agreement, that is the construction of highways, next to it we will construct a railways. So this was the idea, but the motor vehicle agreement only did not did not get ratified. So write down here. Next one, write down Bibin Railway Agreement. Bibin Railway Agreement. Bibin Railway Agreement. It aims to enhance. It aims to enhance the rail connectivity and cooperation. It aims to enhance the rail connectivity and cooperation among the member states. Rail connectivity and cooperations among the member states. Among the member states. However, however, this is still under the policy level, policy formation level. However, this is still under the policy formation level. It is still an idea that was pitched. So the idea was that, okay, let us have this motor vehicle agreement. Now that SARC is not functioning, we need the intention was something like this. Since SARC is not functioning, we need to teach a lesson to Pakistan, stating that what is the importance of engaging with India, and it is going to boost the regional cooperation. But what happened? Bhutan did not accept, assuming that even had Bhutan accepted, we did not have money to implement such large highways at this scale. So yeah, neither India had nor Bhutan, Bangladesh, or Nepal had to implement this one. So this was BBIL. Fine. So again here significance, we decided, right, reduced importance, that is reduced trade cost, enhanced connectivity. So yeah, right on. However, this is still at the policy level, policy formulation level. However, this is still at the policy formation level. That is the BBIN Rail Agreement is still at the policy formation level. Is still at the policy formation level. Okay, fine. So this is the broad aspects. That is the significance we have discussed. Yeah, the significance we have discussed, that is reducing cost, increasing people to people contact. So that is the thing. But the issues also we have written, right. That is the Bhutan hasn't ratified, and second thing is that we do not have money. Capital investment is not there. So these are the big issues. If you want, you can write environmental concerns. So below this, write on. So another issue, just squeeze in one more point. Environmental concerns due to the environmental concerns due to the infrastructure constructions. Environmental concerns due to infrastructure constructions. Due to infrastructure constructions. Okay, so now let us take BIMSTEC. So BIMSTEC, so write down here BIMSTEC. Okay, next topic is BIMSTEC. Quick. Okay, it is also a region grouping. So write down here BIMSTEC. So write down here BIMSTEC. It's a regional grouping. Write down BIMSTEC and write down its members. So members are India. So below this, write down members: India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Myanmar, Thailand. Done. Okay, write down all the names of the members. It was founded in 1997. It was founded in 1997. Founded in 1997. There are 7 member countries. Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Myanmar, Thailand. So these are 7 countries, and it was founded in 1997. So the reason, what the objective was that. So below this write down, it's a regional grouping of the rim countries. It's a regional grouping of the rim countries of Bay of Bengal. Rim countries of Bay of Bengal, along with Nepal and Bhutan, along with Nepal and Bhutan. Okay, so what's the objective? The objective of this, yeah, the objective of this BIMSTEC is that. So write down here, objective, objective of BIMSTEC. So first one, write down, promoting regional cooperations, promoting regional cooperation. First objective is promoting regional cooperation to leverage, to leverage to leverage the first point is promoting regional cooperation to leverage the collective strength collective strength of these nations, So again here, different countries have different strengths. In order to leverage, the strengths of each country, BIMSTEC was needed. That is, and it helped in promoting regional cooperation. Second objective was that to boost economic development, to boost economic development by facilitating to boost economic development by facilitating to boost economic development by facilitating trade and investment, by facilitating trade and investment, trade and investments. Yeah, next one is, third one is enhancing connectivity, enhancing connectivity through transport links, telecommunication networks, etc. Enhancing connectivity through transport links and telecommunication networks. And the next one, fourth objective is that maintain maritime security in the region. Maintaining maritime security in the region. So this was the objective of BIMSTEC. Komal, yesterday's class was there, so there were there's some issue regarding the recording. I think it would get resolved by today. Fine, got it. So yeah. So these are the objectives of BIMSTEC. And again here, when you're reading BIMSTEC, BBIN, so keep in mind, in BIMSTEC and BBIN, India is a big player. So what India does, I don't know whether it's for good or bad, it's up to you to decide. So whenever SARC is very active, say when during Vajpayee's period, or say initial phase of Manmohan Singh's period, when SARC is very active, India neglects this one. That is, India neglects BBIN, India neglects BIMSTEC. When SARC becomes defunct, when there's a major issue between India and Pakistan, Then India starts this BBIN initiative. So the BBIN, then India starts focusing on BBIN. Then India starts focusing on BIMSTEC. Until then, this BBIN and BIMSTEC are put in a cold storage. So this is not a good thing that what our country is doing, because India is a big player, right? Since India is a big player, we have to actively participate in all this groupings. See, the best way to increase the trade, increase the economic development is to have a proper connections. The more connections we have, the better it is. So but however, in India's case, what's happening is that, so whenever SARC becomes defunct, government of India starts focusing on BIMSTEC and BBIN. So apart from that, they really don't even bother. So that is the issue. So when did SARC become defunct? So from 2016 onwards, SARC became defunct. And when did BIMSTEC got revived? After 2016, government of India proactively participated in the BIMSTEC meetings. Before that, there's no participation. There's no participation. That's a no high level participation in the BIMSTEC meeting. Same thing with BBIN. So this is the issue that is going on. Matlab, you should have a broad understanding about this issue. When SARC is functioning, government will focus only on SARC, neglect other entities. When SARC becomes defunct, so they treat, that is government treats this as an alternative. So we shouldn't be treating, if you read all the experts articles, so if they say that we shouldn't be treating BIMSTEC and BBIN as an alternative, rather it should complement SARC, and SARC should complement this one. That has to be the idea, or say in this aspect we should work. So that is the suggestions by the experts. So now let us see the area of cooperation. Area of cooperation. So write down this area of cooperation. So first one is trade and investment. Area of cooperation. First is trade and investment. Trade and investment. Next one is transportation and communication. Transport and communication. Transport and communication. Transport and communication. Third one is agriculture. Agriculture. Third one is agriculture. Fourth one is tourism. Fifth one is security. Security. And sixth one is science and technology. Science and technology. These are the areas of coordination, so areas of cooperation which BIMSTEC aims to achieve. So areas of cooperation. But however, so these are the just broad areas of cooperation. So what happened? There are key agreements that were signed between that member states. So right on here, key agreements, also major agreements signed between member states. Major agreements signed between member states. See again here, even in BIMSTEC, India is the leading player. So India will decide what is the agenda. Even in SARC, India would decide what's the agenda. When SARC is functioning, so Indian government doesn't actively participate in BIMSTEC as such. So when SARC is functioning, Indian government doesn't participate in BBIN initiatives as such. When SARC becomes defunct, only then Indian government proactively participates in BIMSTEC. You'll see the evidence. See, when was BIMSTEC started? 1997. So when was all the important agreements that was initiated? It was initiated in 2017. So when did SARC become defunct? SARC became defunct in 2016. Then what were we doing from 1997 till 2017? No major actions in BIMSTEC was taken place. So because SARC was functioning here and there are minor obstacles. But however, after 2017, SARC became completely defunct. Now we started moving to another alternative. So this move was criticized by many experts, saying that why are you doing this? If BIMSTEC, don't consider BIMSTEC as an alternative to SARC. You have to manage SARC, but BIMSTEC will complement SARC. Or the other way around, SARC will also complement BIMSTEC. That's what is needed. So if you see all the major agreements, it was initiated after 2017 itself. So right on here, major agreements. So the first one is BIMSTEC trade facilitation agreement. First one is BIMSTEC, BIMSTEC trade, BIMSTEC trade trade facilitation, facilitation agreement, trade facilitation agreement 2017, trade facilitation agreement 2017. It aims to promote, right, it aims to promote and simplify trade procedures, aims to promote and simplify trade procedures. It aims to promote and simplify trade procedures among member states, among member states, among member states, among member states. So next agreement was BIMSTEC. Yeah, next agreement was BIMSTEC, BIMSTEC investment promotion and protection agreement. BIMSTEC investment investment promotion, investment promotion and protection agreement, protection agreement, protection agreement. And this was again in 2017, sorry, 2018. This was in 2018. Okay, so here aims to promote foreign investment, aims to promote foreign investment, aims to promote foreign investment among the member states, aims to promote foreign investment among member states, among member states. And the third agreement was BIMSTEC. Third agreement was BIMSTEC Motor Vehicular Agreement, MVA, Motor Vehicle Agreement, BIMSTEC Motor Vehicle Agreement 2018, BIMSTEC Motor Vehicle Agreement 2018 allows free access of, allows free access to the motor vehicles, free access to the motor vehicles, motor vehicles, free access to the motor vehicles across the borders, across the borders, across the borders of BIMSTEC members, across the borders of BIMSTEC members, across the borders of BIMSTEC members. Fine. So these are the broad agreements that was signed. Again, here signing an agreement and ratifying is two different things. But see what happened in the BIBIN initiative. We signed, all the four countries signed agreement, that is motor vehicle agreement. Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal. All the four countries signed, but we did not implement it. Similarly, even in BIMSTEC, we did not implement. But however, we signed all this agreement. But when are we signing? Look at the timings. We are signing this agreement when SARC is not functioning properly. So all the experts in IR, they criticize that why BIMSTEC has become so important when SARC doesn't function. When SARC is functioning properly, BIMSTEC is getting neglected. So this is an issue that is there. So right on here, next one is challenges faced. Challenges faced. Challenges faced. Or next sorry, significance of BIMSTEC. Next point, right on significance of BIMSTEC, and next we'll see the challenges faced. Significance, why BIMSTEC is important for India. Why BIMSTEC is important for India. Sony, regarding the yesterday's class, there is some technical issue. I believe it will get resolved. That's what they told me. That the tech team, they told me that it would get resolved by today. And it will be uploaded. Fine. Okay. So, what is the significance of BIMSTEC? Why BIMSTEC is important for India? So, in order to push India's interest, that is to achieve right on here. So, first one, to push India's interest in Southeast Asia, to push India's interest in Southeast Asia to push India's interest in Southeast Asia region. That is Maldives. That is Myanmar. Yeah, that is Myanmar. And see here, I'll show you with the map. Yeah, that is Myanmar. So this is Southeast Asia to push India's interest in. See, this region is more or less connected. Say that is Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan. They are more or less connected with India. But again, BIMSTEC is very important for us to engage with these two entities. That is Myanmar and Thailand. If you consider Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, they are more or less our allies on the our allies. We can engage with them at the bilateral level. But with Myanmar and Thailand, we require a good cooperation platform, or say that a regional cooperation is needed. So for this BIMSTEC plays a very important role. And the second significance why BIMSTEC is important is that to push or say to facilitate. So right now to facilitate India's foreign policies like to facilitate India's foreign policy like to facilitate India's foreign policies like first one is neighborhood first policy, neighborhood first policy, and the second one is Act East policy, neighborhood first policy and Act East policy, neighborhood first policy and Act East policy. So BIMSTEC will facilitate this foreign policy because BIMSTEC has our neighboring countries, and again BIMSTEC has the countries from the Southeast Asian region. So it's going to help in facilitating Act East policy. At the same time, it's going to facilitate in promoting India's neighborhood first policy. So next one right now. So next significance is that increase in economic development, increase in or say boost economic development, boost economic development through cooperation, boost economic development through cooperation. And the most important one is again the fourth one is counter China's rising influence in the region. 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 Fine. Okay, now let us see what are the challenges faced by BIMSTEC. So, what are the challenges faced by BIMSTEC? So, write it down. Challenges faced by BIMSTEC. First important thing is the irregular meeting. First important challenge is that irregular meeting, because India there's no high level meeting. When your SARC doesn't function, only then we take up BIMSTEC and we glorify it, or else there's no high level meetings from Indian side. So that is the issues. So challenge is that irregular meetings or summits, irregular meetings or summits. Fine. Okay. Next one is bilateral disputes. Bilateral disputes between member states. Bilateral disputes between member states delay the implementation process. Bilateral disputes between the member states delay the implementation process. Yeah. Third challenge is that resource constraint. We don't have adequate money, so we are told that we'll implement a motor vehicular agreement, that is construction of highways, etc. But where is the money coming from? So again, there's a resource construction constraint. So write down here. Third point is third challenge is that resource constraint. Resource resource A resource constraint. A resource constraint. India Myanmar. So the again here, even in India Myanmar, and the small bilateral disputes will also delay the implementation. Right. So these are the broad challenges to the BIMSTEC. Now let us take up another organization. The important organization is IORA. So Indian Ocean Rim Association. So write down here Indian Ocean Rim Association. Indian Ocean Rim Association. IORA. Indian Ocean Rim Association. So again here, Indian Ocean Rim Association, as the name itself says, it is an association of the rim countries, Indian Ocean rim countries of Indian Ocean. So all the rim countries of Indian Ocean, so they have grouped into one association. So that is your Indian Ocean Rim Association, IORA. Again, it was established in 1997. So write down here, IORA, IORA Indian Ocean Rim Association is an international organization. Is an international or IORA is an international organization having members from situated having members situated in the having members situated in the Indian Ocean region. Indian Ocean region. Indian Ocean region having within bracket you write 23 members. There are totally 23 members. 23 members. 23 members established in 1997. Established in 1997. Established in 1997. Fine. So again, principles. It is based on the principle. IORA is based on the principles. IORA is based on the principles. Is based on the principles for based on the principles based on the principles of first one is respecting sovereignty respecting sovereignty respecting sovereignty and maritime borders, respecting sovereignty and maritime borders. Next one is resolving territorial disputes peacefully, resolving territorial disputes peacefully. Joint exploration of the resources, joint exploration of the resources, joint exploration of the resources, joint exploration of the resources. Okay, so this is the on this principle IORA was developed, and again IORA focuses on there are priority areas are there. So what is the priority areas of IORA? So write down here IORA's priority area. IORA's priority area. IORA's priority area. Yeah. What is the priority area? First one is to promoting sustainable growth, promoting sustainable economic growth, promoting sustainable economic growth by encouraging promoting sustainable economic growth by encouraging trade liberalization, trade liberalization, by encouraging trade liberalization, investment, trade liberalization, investment facilitation, investment facilitation, and tourism benefits and tourism developments. and tourism development. Tourism development. And second priority area is enhancing science and technology cooperation. Enhancing science and technology cooperation. Enhancing science and technology cooperation. Third priority area is environmental protection. Third priority area is environmental protection. Environmental protection. Environmental protection. Yeah. Again, fourth priority area is promoting peace and security. Fourth priority area is promoting peace and security. Promoting peace and security. Promoting peace and security. So these are the broad priority areas and cooperations in which IORA operates. Again, IORA, it's not a very active organization as such, but from Prem's perspective, we should know. So these are the priority areas in which IORA focuses on. And see, SAC has become defunct. More or less, BIMSTEC is also defunct now. Say after 2017, 2018, there's no major interaction among the BIMSTEC countries as such. Or the BIMSTEC as an organization. Same is with IORA. So there's no proactive participation among IORA countries in this in achieving all these priority areas. This is just from UPSC perspective. We just need to know as such. Fine. So now, why IORA is important for India? So write down here, significance of IORA for India. Significance of IORA for India. Significance of IORA for India. Okay, so see India. If this is Indian Ocean, just analyze the map. This is Indian Ocean. In this Indian Ocean, India is in the commanding position. So India is in the commanding position in the sense India is situated in such a way that it can access both the parts of Indian Ocean. We can divide Indian Ocean into two halves. So India has a great control over this side. India has a great control over this side. So what are the important choke points that are there? There's a choke point over here. Yeah, so these are the choke points. So this is Strait of Malacca. So these are the choke points. In this choke points, India has a control over this choke points. That is, India has control over the trade because of its location. Because India is in this path where India is exactly at the top of Indian Ocean and in the center. That is, it divides Indian Ocean into two, and it can monitor both the sides of Indian Ocean. So because of this geographical location, India is in the commanding position of Indian Ocean. So by having a close relation with this IORA members, India can maintain its position. India can maintain its hegemony or supremacy in Indian Ocean region. So that is why India IORA is geopolitically important for India. Why it is geopolitically important for India? We can negotiate. That is, we can engage with with the IORA members to enhance the maritime governance and security framework. Or else, if India alone cannot do it, so but India is in a commanding position because of its geographical location. India can easily leverage it. In order to leverage it, we need to have a good relation with with the members of IORA, because with the rim countries of Indian Ocean. So this is geopolitically important. That is, IORA has geopolitical importance in order to leverage India's geographical positions and to maintain its hegemony in Indian Ocean region. So right down here. And did you guys understand why IORA is important? India is in a commanding position. If India has to exert its influence, see, we require their help. We require the coordination of these member countries. So for that, IORA is important. Fine. So IORA, significance of IORA for India. First one is uh, geopolitical importance. IORA, geopolitical importance. By coordinating with IORA members, by coordinating with IORA members, by coordinating with IORA members, India can shape the maritime governance by coordinating with the IORA members. India can shape the maritime governance and security framework in IOR in Indian Ocean region. Security framework in Indian Ocean region. Security framework in Indian Ocean region. Fine. Okay, so this is the geopolitical importance. Now let us see the economic opportunity. See, Indian Ocean is a big ocean. Matlab, it's not as big as your say Atlantic or Pacific, but however, it's relatively big. So, and there are a lot of unexplored resources that is there in Indian Ocean, and Indian Ocean has a lot of fisheries. So, it has a good potential in fishing. It has a good potential in undersea mining, so that we haven't explored. And undersea mining requires a lot of technologies, and again here we require proper coordination as well. In order to for undersea mining, we require proper coordination from all the countries, because undersea mining is quite difficult, so we require proper coordination. For that we require the support of this IORA members. There's a lot of economic opportunity in Indian Ocean. In order to leverage this economic opportunity, India needs cooperation from the IORA members. So right on here, why IORA is important? There's a lot of untapped economic opportunities that are there in Indian Ocean. Say be it in terms of undersea water mining, in terms of fisheries, etc. So there's a renewable energy. So using implementation of renewable energy systems in Indian Ocean. So there's a lot of untapped economic potentials, okay, economic opportunities. In order to utilize this, we require the support of IORA members. So right on here, untapped economic opportunities. So second significance, also second importance is that untapped economic opportunities. So colon untapped economic opportunities in Indian Ocean. Untapped economic opportunities in Indian Ocean. In order to in order to explore in order to explore various economic opportunities in order to explore various economic opportunities various in order to explore various economic opportunities in IOR Indian Ocean region in IOR Indian Ocean region in IOR Indian Ocean region, India requires cooperation from IORA members. India requires cooperation from IORA. India requires cooperation from IORA members. India requires cooperation from IORA members. Fine. Okay. IORA members. And secondly, yeah. And the next one is maritime security issues. So again here, this region, that is Somalia region, is infamous for piracy. So in order to control piracy, and India is in a commanding position in Indian Ocean region. So in order to manage the piracy and ensure maritime security, India alone cannot do it. India can be the leader, but it cannot do it. So what it has to do is that we require cooperation from all the other member countries. So write down here, maritime security colon, to address maritime security in IOR, to address maritime security in IOR, that is Indian Ocean region, to address maritime security in Indian Ocean region, IORA members cooperation is important. IORA members cooperation is important. IORA's member cooperation, IORA's member cooperations is important. Is important. Okay, and the next one is regional connectivity. So in order to boost regional connectivity, so India has its own policy known as, say, Sagar initiative. So Sagar initiative aims to increase the regional connectivity among the Indian Ocean region. So we have something called as a neighborhood first policy. So neighborhood first policy focuses on the neighbors of India. But however, so Sagar is a foreign policy that aims to promote that aims to contact that aims to create good contacts, trade, investment, etc. with with the rim countries of the Indian Ocean. That is Sagar. Sagar is security and growth for all in the region. Security and growth for all in the region, that is Sagar. In order to boost Sagar's implementation, we require the support of IORA. Just understand this. Sagar is India's foreign policy that aims to the aim of the Sagar policy is that India should have a close contact with all the rim countries of Indian Ocean, and so that we can cooperate in terms of economic development, in terms of maintaining maritime security, science and technology, disaster management, etc. That is Sagar policy. In order to implement Sagar policy, this IORA will facilitate it, because the members of IORA are the targets or target under Sagar policy. Sagar policy targets all these rim countries of Indian Ocean, targets to cooperate with these rim countries of Indian Ocean. And these rim countries of Indian Ocean are nothing but they are the members of IORA. In order to implement Sagar, that's a foreign policy, IORA is very important. That is, Sagar is nothing but your mm, the regional cooperation for at the maritime level. So that is Sagar. So right down here, regional connectivity. Regional connectivities. India's connectivity initiatives like Sagar. India's connectivity initiatives like Sagar. India's connectivity initiatives like Sagar are aligned with IORS goals. Are aligned with IORS goals. IORA will benefit in implementation of Sagar. IORA will benefit in implementation of Sagar. IORA will benefit in the implementation of Sagar. Fine. Okay. Again, here in next reason why IORA is important is that for soft power and diplomacy. So India maintains the hegemony in the Indian Ocean region. So we can promote the soft power. Now we can promote the soft power and diplomacy. So and it will also help in cultural exchanges, academic collaborations, people to people ties among the member states. So write down here. So next one is soft power and diplomacy. Active engagement. So write down the same thing. Active engagement with IORA. Active engagement with IORA allows India to allows India to allows India to exercise soft power diplomacy. Allows India to exercise soft power diplomacy by promoting cultural exchanges, academic collaboration, and people to people ties, and people to people ties. So these are the benefits of IORA for India. But however, IORA is not functioning as such. In the sense, there are a lot of um, callous attitudes among the member countries. So the member countries are also not regularly participating in IORA meetings. So these are the issues regarding IORA. Fine. So now we will take up region specific. So we have completed all the Indian, that is India and its neighbors, and all the regional groupings. All the regional groupings have been completed. So now we will be taking up region specific. So initially we'll start with say Southeast Asia region, Southeast Asia or say East Asia region, and secondly we will take up Central Asia, then we will take up West Asia, then we will take up Africa, and finally we'll take up Europe, and then we'll take up the great powers. Great powers are say US, Russia. That's fine. So this is region specific. So write down here Yeah. Right on others, just note on this one. So software diplomacy, yeah. So region specific. So again, the agenda here is that in UPSC, if you see, there's this one question on country specific. India and its neighbor, you get one question, and there's another question on region specific. And again, here region specific, we need not go in detail, country by country. So all the countries we have discussed. The only remaining countries that are left is out which are remaining is that US and Russia. In detail, we have to analyze. So all the big powers we have seen. So remaining all the countries, now we'll go by region wise. Neighboring countries we had to see in detail. We have completed the countries that we have to further see in detail is US and Russia. We'll see to it later on. That is after those countries are called as great powers. Great powers, we'll see to it later on. Now we'll see the region specific country, region specifics. That is, we'll start with Southeast Asia or say East Asia region, Central Asia, West Asia, Africa, Europe. Then we will see, and within Europe, when we are doing Europe, we'll take up the other countries like say France, Germany, etc. So similarly, when we're dealing with say East Asia, say Southeast Asia, we'll be taking up say Philippines, Vietnam, etc. All these countries. So we need not go one by one. What is India's relation with Philippines? No, not no, UPSC is not asking, and it is also not given in the syllabus. So syllabus, it's also not given in the syllabus. So now let us take the region specific. So yes, Prakash, to everyone, yesterday's class was held, and there is some issue regarding the recording, I believe. To be frank, I don't even know how your portal looks like. I'm not from the technical side as such, so no idea. Yesterday, I got few mails, so I have forwarded that mail to the technical team, and they told that it would get resolved. So yeah, I will follow it up with them. Fine. So you need not worry. Okay. Yeah, SEMA 1997. Oh, even lecture 8. Yeah, I made a note of it, Charmi. Even lecture 8. Okay, there's a difference between signing and ratification. Signing, in the sense, when any international agreement is signed, it means that we are showing interest. Say, for example, PM Modi, if he goes and signs any agreement, it means that India is showing interest in that agreement. That is, it doesn't mean that we have accepted that agreement. So, in order to accept that agreement, the highest lawmaking body should accept it. Who is the highest? Say, let us take the example of BBIN. So in BBIN, Bhutan signed the agreement. That is, Bhutanese king signed the agreement. A lawmaking body is parliament. And when it was put in the parliament did not accept it. So when the highest lawmaking body accepts it, that is called as ratification. In India, highest lawmaking body is parliament. So we have to accept it. So then it's called as a ratification, or else it's not ratification, it is just signing. So if we sign the agreement, we need not follow it. Signing in international relation, signing means just showing interest. That is signing. Fine. So that's the meaning of signing. Ratification means showing. Ratification means accepting what's there in the agreement. That is ratification. Fine. So let us take up region specific. So let us start with Southeast Asian region. So Southeast Asian region. In Southeast Asia, see, I'll tell you how the format would go. So first we'll be taking up region specific. Then we'll identify two important issues, or say a few important issues. What's the major important issues? Say here in this Southeast Asian region, the important issues are say South China Sea and ASEAN. So we'll see what is there in South China Sea and ASEAN. Then we will see the characteristics of that region. If you want, you can note it down. I'll tell you the procedure how to analyze the region specific topics. So first, take up a region, identify what is the major issues that is going on. So first, learn that issue, then have a general overview about that region. So first what we'll do is that when we take up Southeast Asia, first we will identify what is the major issue in that region, and major issues are say South China Sea and South ASEAN. So these are the major issues. Then we will see the general characteristics. What is the geopolitical characteristics? What is the geostrategic characteristics? Economics, security, etc. All the general overall characteristics. Then we will see India's relation with that region. After analyzing this geopolitical, geostrategic, geoeconomics characteristics of this region, after that we will see how India is dealing with this region, what are the challenges and how to overcome. So this is how we will be taking up this topic, that is a region specific topics. Fine. So right out here, South China Sea. So the heading is, yeah, so the heading is region specific. So right down here, South China Sea. South China Sea, ASEAN. So again, so what is the South China Sea? So South China Sea, it's a simple concept. It's a territorial dispute concept. So everyone, please, everyone see on the board. It's a pure territorial dispute concept where China is asserting its historical claims. That's it. So so currently, I think in your geography you would have studied about UNCLOS, right? You and in geography, you would have studied about UNCLOS, UNCLOS. What is this UNCLOS? UNCLOS is a international law that determines each country's territory in the sea or ocean. So that is known as UNCLOS. I'll again repeat it. So UNCLOS is an international agreement. It is an international law that determines each countries, that is the rim countries, the littoral countries territory in the sea or ocean. So it is something like this. Say up to around 2 or 200, up to 200 nautical miles, each country will have their territory. Say for example, this is, say if you consider this is India, it is not that entire Indian Ocean belongs to India. No, it is not that entire Indian Ocean belongs to India. Then how much part of Indian Ocean belongs to India? How much part of, say, Bay of Bengal, say how much part of Arabian Sea belongs to India? So that is, yeah, so that is determined by the UNCLOS. So as per UNCLOS, say around 200 nautical miles. We'll not go into the details. So sometimes it's 350, sometimes it's 200. So we'll not go in details. So that the details you'll learn in your geography or oceanography chapter. So but however, so UNCLOS will determine how much area each country controls in sea or ocean. So here, if you consider Bay of Bengal, it is not that entire Bay of Bengal India rules, India controls entire Bay of Bengal. No, it is 200 nautical miles from the baseline. That is from India's border up to 200 nautical miles. That is India's territory. Beyond that, no, that is not India's territory. Then whose territory it is? It is known as high seas, everyone's territory. It is common for all the countries. So common for all the countries, common for humanity. But however, up till 200, sometimes it can be 350 also. There are different clauses. Don't tell that 200 is wrong. So sometimes it is either 200 or 350 based on different clauses. Will not go in detail, but the understand the essence of it. It is UNCLOS that will determine how much territory of sea or ocean is controlled by a littoral country. So that is UNCLOS. Fine. So here, but what is happening in South China Sea? When did UNCLOS come? And UNCLOS is a recent one. So it was in 1980s or 1970s, 1970s, 80s. UNCLOS was formulated. But now all the countries across the world, UNCLOS has been ratified. All the countries is following UNCLOS. But China, what China is doing is that China is not following UNCLOS rules in South China Sea. So what is this UNCLOS rules in South China Sea? Break. Why are so many breaks? Okay. Can I take for 5 minutes and give break? Yeah, I'll take I don't want to stop in between. Please I'll take for will complete of South China Sea. It will not take for, just understand the crux, but that's sufficient. So understand this South China Sea, everything is normal, but the thing is that China is not accepting the UNCLOS law. UNCLOS law tells how much area of sea comes under each country. So that is told by UNCLOS. But China is not accepting that. What China is telling is that look at here. So this is China's 9 dash line. So this is China's 9-line. You can see in the board, see on the board. So this China's red line, this red line, so this red line we call it as 9-line. So this 9-line, how did China get this 9-line? But China is not supposed to get 9-line, this 9-line as their territory. As per UNCLOS, it is 200 nautical miles. See here, if this is China, look at this is China, right? From here 200 nautical miles, from here 200 nautical miles. So along the border from here 200 nautical miles along the border. Just one second. Yeah, from here along the border 200 nautical miles, it can be 200 or say 350 based on the continental shelf. Will not go too much in detail. Based on the continental shelf, it can be 200 to 250 350 nautical miles. But however, let us consider 200 nautical miles. As per UNCLOS, the entire world has accepted UNCLOS. As per UNCLOS, China should have only 200 nautical miles. But what China is doing is that, say if you see here in this image, so what China is doing is that this has to be the 200 nautical miles. What China is doing, that this China is considering this red line as Chinese territory. When the world asked why China is doing this, China told that historically we have been fishing in this region. Historically, China has been fishing in this region. China has been trading in this region. So we require all this region belongs to our territory. So, but they are not respecting UNCLOS. In fact, in 2016, International Court also declared that whatever China is telling, this line is called as 9-line. Whatever China is telling, that is absolutely wrong. The entire world is accepting UNCLOS. Even you have to accept UNCLOS. If you accept UNCLOS, this would be your territory. This yellow line would be your territory. But China is taking up this one, this 9-line. But the reason is why China is doing all those things. So China was not doing this, say, 30, 40 years back. But now China is doing all these things. That is, China is claiming a lot of territory in South China Sea. The reason is that it was recently found out that this South China Sea has a lot of oil and natural gas reserves. So it was proven. The proven one is somewhere around, say, 10 billion barrels of barrel units, 10 billion barrel units of natural gas, sorry, crude oil. But however, there are estimations that it can be more than 150 billion barrel units of natural gas. The proven is 10 around 10 billion barrel units of crude oil is there. But there are predictions that looking at the geological aspect, there are predictions that there could be more than 150 billion barrel units of crude oil over there. Once it was known, once it was out, then China started claiming that no, this is not the territory. That is, as per UNCLOS, we will not follow UNCLOS. We will follow our historical region where we controlled. Historically, we were trading in this region. Historically, we were fishing in this region. So it belongs to our territory. So this is the claims of China. And if China, please see here, if China is claiming this 9-line, so this, unless this red line, 9-line, it is affecting other countries' territory. See, it is affecting Philippines territory, it is affecting Brunei, it is affecting Malaysia, Vietnam, Taiwan's territory, etc. So because of this Chinese claims, and the rationale what China is giving is that historically we were fishing in that region, historically we were trading in that region, so that region belongs to China. So China is not following UNCLOS. And again, it is not something new. So earlier China was following UNCLOS. When the news came out that there is a lot of crude oil over there, crude oil, that is crude oil and natural gas in South China Sea, they started claiming that they started taking up the historical stance. And secondly, the South China Sea is crucial because we know that I think this map doesn't showcase, right? I think, yeah, we'll take up this map. Let's see here. This is Japan. Okay, fine. This is Japan and this is South Korea. So Japan and South Korea are very close allies of USA. Right? Just understand this geopolitical dynamics. Japan and South Korea are very close allies of USA, and there is an issue between China and USA. So three things you have to understand here. Japan and South Korea are close friends of USA. There's an issue between China and USA. Japan and South Korea depends on the South China Sea. The trade for Japan and South Korea is via South China Sea. Most of the trade for Japan and South Korea is via South China Sea. Since China cannot directly attack or say harm USA, what China plans to do is that they can harm the friends of USA, that is South Korea and Japan. So how to harm the South Korea and Japan? Stop the vessels that goes to Japan via South China Sea. Stop the vessels that goes to, so stop the ships that goes to South Korea. So that is possible. If China controls the South China Sea, they can indirectly harm USA. And second aspect why China wants to control this South China Sea is that the news broke out that there is a lot of natural gas and oil reserves over there. So these are the two main reasons. Fishery is not the main reason as such. Right? So understood the dynamics. Any doubt till here? Okay, so quickly write down. Write down. You want to write it down after the so many breaks here. You want to write it down now or write it after the break? Shweta, break. Okay, ठीक है यार. Okay. Yeah, we'll write it down now, no? So it will not take more than 5-10 minutes. So please bear with me for 5 minutes and then we'll write it. We'll take a break. Fine. So write down the South China Sea. South China Sea issue. Then we'll take up ASEAN. South China Sea issue. Then we'll take up ASEAN. So write down here basics of SCS. So for South China Sea, just write SCS. Basics of SCS. Basics of SCS. Basics of SCS. So write down here basics of SCS. And for the people who haven't completed geography, that is unclass. If you haven't completed unclass, in a small box in the in your paper. So if this is your paper, in a small box write down unclass. For the people who have no idea about unclass, so write down in a small box. In a small box in a corner, write down unclass. It's an international law that determines. It is an international law. It is an international law that determines the territorial limit, or say the territorial control of the littoral states, of the littoral, LITT, of the littoral countries in sea or ocean, in sea or ocean. Within bracket you write, it guides the maritime borders. It guides the maritime borders. It guides the maritime borders. Fine, it guides the maritime borders. Okay, so this is your unclose, and the details for it 25 nautical miles, 250 nautical, 200 nautical miles, and again 350. All these details you'll read it in your geography. So here you just need to understand this aspect, unclose, and again here what China is doing, they're not following unclose. So basics of South China Sea. So write down here importance. So below this write down importance of South China Sea. Importance of South China Sea, a rich fishing ground. Importance of South China Sea, a rich fishing ground. So write on this. Rich fishing ground. And the next one is potential oil and gas reserves. Potential oil and gas reserves. Potential oil and gas reserves. Third one is strategic shipping lanes. Strategic, in international relation terms, we call it as SLOC. Strategic SLOC. What is SLOC? C lines of communication. C lines of communication. C lines of communication. SLOC, C lines of communication. Right? SLOC is C lines of communication. Strategic shipping lanes or strategic SLOC. So why strategic SLOC? Below this write down, and below strategic SLOC, below this write down. It's an important trade route for South Korea, Japan. It's an important trade route for South Korea, Japan, South Korea, Japan, South Korea, Japan, and and Southeast Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries. Yeah, okay. So, say for example, if you consider Vietnam, just summarize the map. So this is I'll take and show you world map. Yeah. So here, this is South China Sea. On this side we have California, right? On this side, yeah, this side we have USA, and this is your South America. This is your Pacific Ocean. So yeah, this is your Pacific Ocean. So this is South China Sea. From Vietnam, if we have to go to California, so it is via South China Sea. Say from you consider, say from Philippines, if you have to go to California, South China Sea. From Taiwan, if you have to go to California, you have to cross South China Sea. All the goods from South Korea and Japan, if you have to go to California, or say the side of USA via Pacific Ocean, it is via South China Sea. So South China Sea is an important shipping lanes. Fine. Okay. Yeah, so many breaks here. Okay, fine. Take a break. Sure, Suhana, fine. It's okay, Suhana. I'll leave you a break. Okay, so no issues. 7:35. Please come by 7:45, 7:50. 7:50. Nihal, SLOC means, yeah, you can take a break. Now I'll clear the doubts. Others, you can take a break. SLOC, if there's any doubt, you can put it here. I'll clear those doubts. SLOC means sea lines of communication. So the important trade routes in ocean or seas, that we call it as sea lines of communication. So this South China Sea is an important SLOC. That is, it's a trade route. That is, all the ships goes through this route itself. So those routes are called as SLOC, sea lines of communication. Yeah, Japan and South Korea, they have to pass via South China Sea, right? So if they have to say from Japan, there has to be some ships, some goods that has to travel to say USA, or say that has to travel to say India, or say it has to get crude oil from say Middle East. So how do you get crude oil from Middle East? It has to pass via say this is your Middle East, this is your Arab world. From Japan, if there Yeah, from Japan, if there's any crude oil, it has to go via Malacca Straits. Sorry, it is from Japan, it has to go via the Malacca Straits, South China Sea, and again this thing. Then that is Japan. So from Middle East, and again South China Sea. Again here, if it has to go to Australia, so it becomes crucial for Japan and South Korea. And Japan and South Korea are close allies of USA. Yes, Prakash, data is needed. Fine. Okay. So yeah. Okay, so what was last line did you guys write? Okay, SLOC, fine. Okay. So now please write down. So the disputes. Disputes. Okay, okay, Harish, thank you. Yeah. So right on. And disputes. So here, right on here, disputes. So what are the disputes? There's only one dispute. So the dispute is that it's all because of China. So what is China doing is that if you see the image over here, this is the 9 dash line. So this one is the 9 dash line. So China tells that this 9 dash line is the region where we we have influence. Why, when asked for why, so they told that the reason why what China gives is that historically we have been fishing there, historically we have trades over there, so it means that we are controlling that region. So this is the dispute. So right on here, the disputes. China asserts its historical claims. China asserts, so write on the statement so you'll get a clarity. So why there is a dispute? So China asserts its historical claims based on 9 dash line. So China asserts its historical claims based on 9 dash line, which overlaps with the claims of other countries as per UNCLOS, which overlaps with the claims of other countries as per UNCLOS. And other countries are not telling, say, your Philippines or say Vietnam, they are not telling that it belongs to us. No, they are telling as per UNCLOS it belongs to us. They are following rules, but it's only China who's not following the rules. So this is the dispute. And another dispute is that so China has started creating a lot of artificial islands. So right down here, next dispute, one dispute is China is taking up a lot of territory by claiming historical by taking up by raking up the historical claims. And another reason why it has become a big dispute is that China has constructed a lot of artificial islands, and construction of artificial island is one environmental issue. But however, what China is doing is that they are constructing artificial island and militarizing it. So say for example, if you consider this Parasol Island, say around Parasol Island, this is a Parasol Island. So around Parasol Island, they are constructed artificial islands and they are militarizing those artificial islands. So that is the issue over here. See, construction of artificial island creates environmental threat, but it also causes, but they are also militarizing it. That is another dispute. So right on here, construction of artificial second one. Second dispute is that Chinese construction of artificial islands Chinese construction of artificial islands and militarization of it. Chinese construction of artificial island and militarization of it and militarization of it militarization of it is causing troubles for other littoral countries is causing troubles for other littoral countries is causing troubles for other littoral countries for other littoral countries. Yeah, so this is the dispute. So again, what happened in 2019, so yeah, 2016, what happened is that that is below this, right on current situation. So right on here, current situation. So what is happening currently? So this is the broad dispute. Current situation, militarization of South China Sea. Current situation, militarization of South China Sea by China. Militarization of South China Sea by China. So to counter this, US is a big player. US is the global leader. So China is doing all these things. So USA will not sit quiet. So what USA has initiated is that freedom of navigation operation. So what is this freedom of navigation operation? So this freedom under this freedom of navigation operation, USA will bring its naval fleets. So yeah, it literally gets its naval fleets, and it takes its naval fleets across South China Sea to assert that China cannot control this region, because US is a global power. So US cannot leave China to violate the international rules, because US is a responsible power, right? It is a duty of US to ensure that all the country follows the international order. So since China is not following, USA has initiated something like freedom of navigation operation. In this freedom of navigation operation, US gets its naval fleet, and it passes via South China Sea in order to assert that this South China Sea belongs to global common, in the sense it is a high seas. High seas in the sense, in your unclosed you'll read beyond 200 nautical miles. It is high seas. It is common for everyone. Say in Bay of Bengal, how much area in Bay of Bengal belongs to India? From the Indian shore up to 200 nautical miles. This is Bay of Bengal. Beyond this, it is common for everyone. So it is not anyone's land. It is common for everyone. So similarly, what in US tells is that this South China Sea is a high seas, in the sense it's common for everyone. There has to be freedom of navigation, and we will assert that freedom of navigation. How? So through this freedom of navigation operation. So write down here freedom of navigation operation. Freedom of navigation operation. US conducts freedom of navigation operations to challenge China's claims in SCS, that is to challenge China's claim in SCS, that is South China Sea, to challenge China's claim in South China Sea. Right. The next one is international court. So below this, right up, international court ruled against China. International court ruled against China's claims, ruled against China's claims, but still China is not accepting, but still China is not accepting UNCLOS, but still China is not accepting UNCLOS. China is not accepting UNCLOS. Fine. Okay, China is not accepting UNCLOS. And again, along with this, there are diplomacy and negotiations also going on. Say Vietnam and China, they are indulging in bilateral diplomacy to engage to resolve this dispute. But however, no possible no feasible outcome has still now reached. So this is the current situation. But if we have to resolve this, what is the possible solutions? So write down here possible solutions. Possible solutions, that is peaceful negotiation. See, again, China, US is also bringing their navy into South China Sea. China is also militarizing it, so it is leading to a lot of tension. The possible solution is that there has to be peaceful negotiation. So peaceful negotiation, first one is peaceful negotiation. And the next one is respect for international law. China is not respecting the international law, respecting the international law, respecting the international law. And the next one is joint development agreement. See, the reason why China earlier it was okay with the international law. Once China got to know that there's a lot of oil reserve over there, oil and natural gas reserve over there, then China started claiming that historically we were fishing there, historically we were trading there. The South China Sea belongs to us. So it was only after China got to know that there is resources over there. Before that, China was least bothered about South China Sea. So now, so if so, it clearly shows that China's intention is to exploit the resource over there. And it is after this resource, after this people got to know that there are gas and oil and natural gas resource over there. It is not just China who is doing that. Even Vietnam, Philippines, Taiwan, even these countries also started claiming in South China Sea because there was a news that there is oil reserve over there. So that's the reason, or else these countries are also least bothered about it. So it is after the news broke out that there is of natural oil and natural gas reserve over there. China started saying that that belongs to their territory. Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, everyone started telling that that belongs to their territory. So if we have to resolve it, the best way is joint development agreement. Let us have a joint development agreement. Let us all the countries participate in exploring and take the benefits of it. So that's also another option, right? Alternative. So right on here, joint development agreement, collaborating and resource joint development agreements, that is collaborating on resource exploration, on resource exploration, on resource exploration. Yeah, next one is military de-escalation. Military de-escalation, because China is militarizing South China Sea. In retaliation, US is getting their naval fleets and passing via South China Sea. The military escalation is going on, so we need to de-escalate it. And next one is strengthening the regional institutions like ASEAN. Strengthening regional institutions like ASEAN to resolve the disputes. To resolve the disputes. To resolve the disputes. Fine. So these are the measures, possible solutions for South China Sea. So now let us take ASEAN. So ASEAN is an important, so right on the heading, ASEAN. ASEAN is a regional grouping like SARC. SARC is for South Asia. ASEAN is for Southeast Asian region. So Southeast Asian region. So there are 10 countries in ASEAN, but ASEAN, the functioning of ASEAN is way better than the functioning of SARC. In fact, the in ASEAN, the big country, the biggest country is say Indonesia. This is the Indonesia is the big country. So many experts in say Hindu and Indian experts, they say that India needs to learn a lot of things from Indonesia. So even in SARC, even in ASEAN, if you see, Indonesia is a big country in terms of population or in terms of geographical area. It's a big country compared to all other country. Say Malaysia, look at Malaysia. It's not even probably say 10 percentage of Indonesia. So but Indonesia plays a very important role in ASEAN. So what is this Indonesia doing? So Indonesia doesn't bring any of its bilateral issues with ASEAN. It doesn't bring any of its bilateral issues with ASEAN, and Indonesia, as a policy, takes a step back and gives place for other countries to participate in ASEAN. So these policies are being appreciated across the world. So and that's one reason why ASEAN is more successful than SARC. In SARC, there's this one dominant player, but whereas in ASEAN there's no dominant player. Even though there is a big country with huge population, that doesn't act like a dominant player, that doesn't act like a big brother. So if you read what's the difference between say SARC and ASEAN, so how to revive SARC, if you read any article regarding how to revive SARC, the one point would always be there, that is India should learn from Indonesia. That is, it is Indonesia, even though despite being a big power, or say in terms of population, in terms of economy in ASEAN, it is giving space for other countries, and it is not guiding, it is not overpowering ASEAN. So this is the some of the difference. Okay, so now right on here, ASEAN. ASEAN is a regional grouping. ASEAN is a regional intergovernmental organization. ASEAN is a regional intergovernmental organizations comprising of 10 Southeast Asian countries. Comprising of 10 Southeast Asian countries. 10 Southeast Asian countries. So write down here Brunei, Cambodia. So write down all these 10 countries. Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. So these are the 10 countries. It's not that you need to remember all these 10 countries, no need, but just know that these are the 10 countries, fine. And ASEAN, the entire ASEAN, how the functioning, how ASEAN functions on the basis of three pillars. There are only three objectives. And you can analyze the difference between ASEAN and SARC. In SARC, there's no clear objective as such, but whereas in ASEAN, it is clearly defined that there are three different objectives, well, the proper different objectives. So the objectives are the three pillars, or say three objectives. Write down here objectives. Objectives of ASEAN. It's clearly defined, and there are dedicated councils. Whereas in SARC, there are multiple councils were there, but whereas in ASEAN, there are dedicated council, and the most important council is that political and security community. So write down here three pillars, or say objectives. So first one, ASEAN Political Security Community. First one is ASEAN Political Security Community, that is APSC. Aims to promote regional peace and stability. APSC, ASEAN Political Security Community, aims to promote regional peace and stability. Aims to promote regional peace and stability. Okay, okay. Okay, fine. And I'll slow it down. Okay, ASEAN. Yeah, is my dictation very speed, very fast? Yeah, no need of having the 10 countries name, Ria. You don't memorize as such. Okay. No, okay, fine. This ASEAN Political Security Community, so right on, it aims to promote regional peace and stability. It aims to promote regional peace and stability through political and security cooperation. Through political and security cooperation. Through political and security cooperation. Okay, so this is the important community. So the reason why SARC is not functioning properly is that there is no dedicated community, or so there is no dedicated council where all these political issues can be resolved. But whereas in ASEAN, there's a dedicated community, or so dedicated council where any of these political issues or security issues are resolved. So that is one good thing. And the second one is economic community. So ASEAN Economic Community. ASEAN Economic Community. So write down, next one is ASEAN Economic Community. Aims to increase trade and investment. Aims to increase trade and investment. Aims to increase trade and investment among member states. Among member states by reducing trade barriers. By reducing trade barriers. By reducing trade barriers. By reducing trade barriers. Fine. And the third one is ASEAN Socio-Culture Community. ASEAN Socio-Culture Community. ASEAN Socio-Culture Community. It aims to promote. It aims to promote people-to-people contact. It aims to promote people-to-people contact and preserve the the cultural heritage of the member states, cultural heritage of the member states. Right. So why ASEAN is more successful compared to SARC is that in ASEAN there are dedicated councils. The most important priority is given to this ASEAN Political Security Community. It's a council where the member states, if there's any political dispute, if there's any security dispute, that would be resolved, and whatever happens here will not trickle down to this one, that is economic community. Economic community, it will focus on trade, investment, reducing the trade barriers. Parallelly, political and security community will focus on resolving any of the political disputes between the member states. And third one is socio-cultural community, where it aims to focus on building the people-to-people contact. So this model is actually working. So again here, the credit, if you read the article, the credit should go to Indonesia. Indonesia is a very big country, huge population, big country in Asia. So it's a huge population, but Indonesia gives space for other countries. So we have to respect. The credit should go to Indonesia for maintaining ASEAN and for the functioning of ASEAN. So these are the three pillars. But however, there are challenges. There are challenges in ASEAN. So what are the challenges? So write down here, challenges in ASEAN. Challenges in ASEAN. So what are the challenges in ASEAN? So first one is geopolitical challenges. So geopolitical competition. So why geopolitical competition? If you see here, I'll show you with a map. Yeah, again here, Philippines. So if you consider Philippines is pro USA, but oh, one second, I'll show you with the map. Yeah. Yeah, see here, this is Philippine, all these are 10 countries in ASEAN. Philippines doesn't like China. Philippines is pro USA. Myanmar is a very close ally of China. Laos is a very close ally of China. Myanmar and Laos are a very close ally of China. Philippines is anti-China. So there is a geopolitical competition within among the members itself. There's a geopolitical competition. Few countries are close to China. Few countries are against China. Few countries are very close to USA. Few countries are and not so friendly with USA. So because of this, there's a geopolitical competition among the member countries itself. So write down here. So first issue is that first challenge is that geopolitical competition. Geopolitical competition, as few member countries are either close with as few member countries are either close with USA or China, are either close with USA or China. Example, Philippines is close with USA. Example, Philippines is close with USA, and Myanmar is close with China. Myanmar is close with China. Fine. Okay, and the next challenge is that South China Sea dispute. Again, South China Sea dispute arises between China and other countries. But however, if you go with the nuances, again among the member countries also there are disputes. So see here, this is Malaysia. This is Malaysia's claim. This yellow line is Malaysia's claim. This Malaysia's claim overlaps with Vietnam's claim. So are you getting this concept? Malaysia's claim is overlapping with Vietnam's claims. So within South China Sea, there is a dispute. The biggest dispute is because of China. But however, among these ASEAN countries, there is a South China Sea dispute. That is, see again here. If you see here, this is Malaysia's claim. Malaysia's claim overlaps with Vietnam's claims. So again, so write down here. Again, Philippines claims overlaps with Malaysia's claims. Philippines claims overlaps with Vietnam's claims. So just analyze the map over here. You'll get a better idea. This is Philippines claim. So this, the purple one is Philippines claim. This overlaps with this one. This is Vietnam. Green one is Vietnam's claim. Red one is Philippines claim. So this overlaps. So write down here South China Sea disputes. The member states, South China Sea dispute, SCS disputes. The member states claims the member states claims over South China Sea overlaps. The member states claims over South China Sea overlaps, causing a dispute. Causing a dispute. Causing a dispute. Causing a dispute. Example, Malaysia's claim overlap with Vietnam's claims. Malaysia's claims overlap with Vietnam's claims. Vietnam's claims. So write down here. Next one. Post post COVID, post COVID, post COVID. There's an economic slowdown. Post COVID, there is an economic slowdown. There is an economic slowdown. Post COVID, there is an economic slowdown in ASEAN countries. Why economic slowdown? See, ASEAN countries, tourism was one of the important industry in ASEAN countries, and secondly, export was one of the important industry. But after COVID, tourism completely declined. Exports also completely declined. So as a reason, ASEAN countries are now suffering. So this is your economic crisis. And the next one is transnational crimes. Transnational crimes. Transnational crime. Transnational crime. Example, illegal drug trade. Example, illegal drug trade. So we have this infamous golden triangle, that is Myanmar, Thailand, Laos. So this is the infamous golden triangle. So this golden triangle, from drugs from this golden triangle is entering India. That is one issue. But the drug from this golden triangle is also entering into other Southeast Asian countries, other ASEAN countries. So this is causing an issue. So transnational crime. And the next one is climate change issues. Climate change issues. Climate change issues. Climate change causing adverse weather phenomena. Climate change causing adverse weather phenomena and sea level rise. Fine. So these are the challenges to the ASEAN. But why ASEAN is important for India? Why ASEAN is important for India? The first reason is strategic security. So write down why ASEAN is important for India. First one is maritime security. First one, strategic security. So write down strategic security. Why ASEAN is important for India? First is strategic security. That is, see here, if you see the map, yeah, so this is India. So somewhere this is India. So from India, this is India. So here, this is your Andaman. So yeah, this is your Andaman region. Andaman. So again, the India, that is the trade route from India, if we have to go to say California is in this side. So this is California. We have to pass via this route and then go to California. If we have to import any commodities from ASEAN countries, we have to go via this route. So there has to be proper maritime security in this region. For that, ASEAN is important for India. So why ASEAN is important for India? To provide maritime security cooperation. So write down here, to provide first strategic security concern. First one, why ASEAN is important for India, or importance of ASEAN to India. First one is to provide maritime security cooperation. To provide maritime security cooperation. To provide maritime security cooperation. And the next one is to counter China's rise in the region. To counter China's rise in the region. That is balancing regional power. To act as a balancing regional power. That is to counter China's rise in the region. China is rising. So in order to counter China's rise, we need to ally ourselves with these ASEAN countries. That is needed, or else it becomes very difficult. India alone cannot counter China. We require other countries' support also. So how which countries can support easily? ASEAN, because they are close. They are geographically close to India, so they can support us. That is to balancing the regional power to control the Chinese rise. And the next one is disaster. So to manage disasters. To manage disasters. To manage disasters, to manage disasters. Fine. See again here. See in 2004, in 2004 there was a tsunami. Where did how did the tsunami occur? There was an undersea earthquake. So the undersea earthquake was near Indonesia. And if the undersea earthquake is near Indonesia, Indonesia will get the news immediately. So Indonesia, if we have a good relation with ASEAN countries, these countries will tell the information to India immediately. And there are cyclone formation. Cyclone formation occurs in this region. There are many times cyclone formation occurs in this region. From here, it goes to Bay of Bengal. How it goes, you'll study in your geography. But cyclone formation occurs near South China Sea, sorry, near ASEAN countries. So they will know it first. So they can easily report to India. So this will help India in managing the disaster. So these are the strategic security reasons. And the next one is why ASEAN is important for India. It is for economic benefits. So right down here, economic benefits. Under economic benefits, enhanced trade and investment, enhanced trade and investments. That is, we can increase our trade and investment. There are a lot of investment opportunities also there. So that is China, that is our ASEAN countries have a lot of capital. They can invest in India. And similarly, India can also invest in ASEAN because ASEAN is a booming or say developing countries. So again here, so we have a lot of economic benefits. That is, India has a lot of economic benefits from ASEAN nations. So these are the economic benefits. And the next one is again here, to promote a socio-cultural links. To promote socio-cultural links. To promote socio-cultural links. To promote socio-cultural links. That is a cultural exchange. Through cultural exchange. Through cultural exchange. Next one is knowledge sharing. Knowledge sharing through student exchange programs. Knowledge sharing through student exchange programs. Knowledge sharing through student exchange programs. And the last one is tourism promotion. Tourism promotions. So these are the socio-cultural links. For socio-cultural links, ASEAN is quite important from India's perspective. Fine. So now let us see. Yeah. Now let us see the Southeast Asia region as a whole. So what is there? What is the characteristics of Southeast Asia region? So what are the characteristics of Southeast Asia region? So right down here, the heading is Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia. So what are the characteristics of Southeast Asia? And Southeast Asia, we know that it resembles it's more or less resembles the overall Asian culture. So that is high diversity, traditional. So it more or less resembles the same thing. So now let us understand what are the geopolitical characteristics of Southeast Asia. So right down here, the geopolitical characteristics of Southeast Asia. Geopolitical characteristics of Southeast Asia. See, Southeast Asia, not all countries are democratic. Say there are authoritarian countries also. There are monarchy also. Say there are military government also. So if you consider Brunei, it's monarchy. Myanmar, military government. We can Singapore to some extent we can consider it as a democracy. So yeah, again here Singapore limited democracy. It's not like a full-fledged democracy as such. Like say your any of your Western world, it's kind of a limited democracy. Indonesia, it's a democracy. Philippines, more or less, it's kind of an authoritarian, electoral autocracy. So kind of electoral autocracy. So the political system is very diverse in Southeast Asia region. But whereas in Europe, if you consider, more or less all the countries are a democratic country in the sense their leaders are elected, not selected by some monarch or something like that. So European world is completely democratic. More or less, it's democratic. more or less it's democratic. But whereas in Southeast Asia, the politics is highly diverse. There is military rule, there is authoritarian regime, there is democracy, there is monarchy. So it's highly diverse. So write down this geopolitical characteristics. First one, write down diverse political systems. Diverse political systems ranging from democracy, diverse political systems ranging from democracy to authoritarian regime, ranging from democracy to authoritarian regime, ranging from democracy to authoritarian regime, ranging from democracy to authoritarian regime. So diverse political system. And the next one is the Southeast Asia has a lot of resources. Next one, right? Resource richness. A resource. Next geopolitical characteristics is resource richness. Resource richness. Resource richness. Next geopolitical characteristics is resource richness. It has a various natural resources, right now. Natural resources like gas oil gas minerals, etc. are found here. Oil, gas, minerals, etc. are found over here. And another geopolitical characteristics is that these countries are not, they have a lot of territorial disputes. Territorial disputes is very common in Southeast Asian region. So right down here, territorial disputes. Territorial disputes. Third geopolitical characteristics. So we are just analyzing what is the geopolitical characteristics of Southeast Asia. It's not like a peaceful nation as such, matlab peaceful region as such. There are a lot of territorial disputes also. So right on here, territorial disputes among several Southeast Asian countries. Among several Southeast Asian countries. Example South China Sea region. Example South China Sea region. Example South China Sea region. Yeah, next one, there's a competition, that is great power competition. So right on here I'll explain. Great power competition. Great power competition. Great power competition. US, China, Russia, they wants to control this Southeast Asian region. There's a great power competition. Earlier, after 1991, that is after 1991, the USSR disintegration of USSR, US was the one entity who was controlling the Southeast Asian region. But controlling in the sense influencing, they will not come and control the internal politics as such, influence the influence this Southeast Asian market. But however, in the recent times, in the last 1 decade, China is asserting its influence. So in the present times, there's a big competition between US and China. So right on here, great power competition to increase its influence. To increase its influence, great power competition to increase its influence on Southeast Asian region. To increase its influence on Southeast Asian regions, on Southeast Asian region, on Southeast Asian region, on Southeast Asian region. Right? So these are the geopolitical characteristics of Southeast Asia. But however, what are the geostrategic characteristics? So within geopolitical, these are the broad geopolitical characteristics. So within geopolitical, now let us understand what are the geostrategic characteristics or geostrategic importance of Southeast Asia. Geostrategic in the sense, if those points, those characteristics are very crucial, which has big ramification, which has greater influence, those things are called as geostrategic importance. So again here, this Southeast Asia has important choke points in the sense where majority of the trade, please analyze here. So geostrategic is within, say this is geopolitical, geostrategic is a subset of Geopolitical, this is geopolitical. Geostrategic is a subset of geopolitical. So in the first class we had discussed all these things. Yeah, in the list I have given. So fine. Okay. Geostrategic importance. So again here, Southeast Asia has important choke points. Choke point for SLOC. What is SLOC? Sea lines of communication. SLOC, sea lines of communication. This, in the sense, it is a trade path. It is something like highway. You would have seen highways. So Delhi Agra highway. Delhi Agra highway is one of the important highway where majority of the trade occurs. So then that is one important highway. So if there is any path where majority of the trade takes place on water, that we call it as SLOC, sea lines of communication. So here in this important SLOC passes via the Strait of Malacca. Strait of Malacca is very narrow. This region is called a Strait of Malacca. It is very narrow. So this Strait of Malacca, in the Strait of Malacca, all the important vessels passes through, all the important ships passes through. And if we cut the Strait of Malacca, this entire region will suffer. They cannot trade. So Southeast Asia has important choke points. So it has a strategic importance. That is, Southeast Asia has strategic choke points. So right on here. But however, here, even though the choke point is in Southeast Asia, India has a greater control over this choke point, that is Southeast Asia, this Malacca choke point. So right down here, geostrategic and geostrategic importance. Southeast Asia contains Southeast Asia contains Southeast, just write SC. Southeast Asia contains strategic choke points like Strait of Malacca, Strait of Malacca, Strait of Malacca. So if Southeast Asian countries they shut down the Strait of Malacca, it is going to have a greater ramification at the global level. At the world will suffer. So so those things are called as geostrategic importance. Geostrategic in the sense a very small thing, but if there's any changes in small thing, it will have a very big ramification. So example is the Strait of Malacca. Strait of Malacca is in Southeast Asia. If Southeast Asian countries stop the Strait of Malacca, it will cause a massive crisis in the global world because the trade will stop. It is an important SLOC. Since it's an important SLOC, the trade will stop. Fine. So this is, yeah. Yeah, so this is the Strait of Malacca. So right down here, such as Strait of Malacca, which are below this right down. Strait of Malacca is crucial for global trade and energy transport. Strait of Malacca is crucial for Strait of Malacca is crucial for global trade and energy transportation. Global trade and energy transportation. Fine. Okay. Another geostrategic importance for Southeast Asia in the recent times is that, so right on here, Southeast Asia, Southeast Asia, that is another importance. Southeast Asia, so has Southeast Asian countries have accepted Belt and Road Initiative Project (BRI). Southeast Asian countries have participated in BRI, that is Belt and Road Initiative project. When who started this Belt and Road Initiative project? Initiative, China. So most of the Southeast Asian countries have accepted this Belt and Road Initiative project. So again, it becomes strategically important. So again, further, it will have a greater ramification since now the entire Southeast Asian region will be controlled by most of the countries will be controlled by China. It will have strategic relevance, a lot of strategic relevance. Now let us take up the geoeconomics. What is the geoeconomics of Southeast Asia? So write down here, geoeconomics of Southeast Asia. First one is point wise. So it is an Southeast Asian geoeconomics of Anjani. So it is geoeconomics of Southeast Asia. So under this write down geoeconomics of Southeast Asia. So under this write down Southeast Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries are an emerging economy, are an emerging economies, are an emerging economies. Are an emerging economy. In fact, Vietnam is growing much more faster than India. Vietnam, Philippines, they are the next competitor. So we were, that is India. There's a perception. There was a perception that India is going to compete with China, etc., etc. That is there, but now Vietnam, Philippines, so they have become our important competitor. Forget about China. China is gone. China is very ahead of us. So now the competitors are Vietnam and Philippines. If you see all the textile, if you read the textile sector, analyze the textile sector, Indian textile sector has got affected a lot because of Vietnam and Philippines, Bangladesh. Indian electronics sector. So after COVID, we are thinking that the companies would come to India. So very few companies came to India, but the companies went to Philippines and Vietnam. So Philippines and Vietnam again here. So these countries are emerging economies and they are our big competitor. So don't consider these are small countries; they are big countries. At geoeconomics level, the Southeast Asian countries are emerging countries. They are growing much more faster. So India is a big country, okay, fine. But however, Philippines and Vietnam is also growing in a pretty decent manner. So that's the reason. Southeast Asian countries are emerging economies. So which has a lot of potential, which has a lot of potential for trade and investment, which has a lot of potential for trade and investment, which has a lot of potential for trade and investment. Yeah. Second one is it is a manufacturing hub. It is a manufacturing hub. It's a prominent manufacturing and supply chain base. It is a prominent manufacturing and supply chain base. Prominent manufacturing and supply chain base for many MNC. For many, for manufacture, for many MNC. It is a prominent manufacturing and supply chain base for many MNCs. Say you take all the important fashion brands. Say all the Zara, H&M, say Adidas, all this, all shoe making companies. So their base is in Vietnam, Philippines, Laos, in this region. Even electronics, say be it Samsung, etc. Their base is in Vietnam or Philippines. So they are a manufacturing hub and important entity in the supply chain. So that is the geoeconomics benefits. And the next one is they act as a connectivity hub. So right on here, third one is connectivity hub. Say classic example is Singapore. Singapore is a connectivity hub. That is all the goods from this region go to Singapore. From Singapore, it goes to another region. Say from the bulk goods from USA comes to Singapore, it unloads in Singapore, and so from Singapore it spreads to other regions, South Asian markets. From the European or say from American market, it comes to Singapore, and the goods get separated and it goes to Asian market. So it acts as a connectivity hub, or say so. Right on here, next point is Southeast Asia is a trade and connectivity hub. Southeast Asia is a trade and connectivity hub for the Indo-Pacific region, for the Indo-Pacific region, for the Indo-Pacific region, for the Indo-Pacific region, for the Indo-Pacific region. Yeah. So at the same time, so Southeast Asia has a lot of resources also. So next point, write down. So that is fourth or fifth point. So write down oil and natural gas reserves. Oil and natural gas reserves. Oil and natural gas reserves. So Brunei is a country. So Brunei is a Southeast Asian country. It has huge reserves of oil and natural gas. Example, Brunei has huge reserves of natural gas. Brunei has huge reserves of oil and natural gas. huge reserves of oil and natural gas. Next one, write down. Yeah, dominant player, dominant production. So major production in rubber and palm oil. Major production, major production of major production of rubber, rubber and palm oil. Palm oil. Again here, guys, see, we might be thinking that in the transportation sector, the engineering is quite important. So as engines and technology, that's important. Equally, the tires are important. The rubber and the rubber that is used in the tire, that is crucial. So, and most of the rubbers in the world comes from the Southeast Asian region. So, Southeast Asian region kind of controls the entire transportation sector due to the rubber. So, it has a lot of rubber resources, and these rubbers are being sourced across the world for manufacturing of tire. So, the Southeast Asian market kind of controls the transportation sector also across the world, not just in Southeast Asia, across the world. Fine. And the next one, write down fisheries. So, dominant player in fishery sectors, 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 dominant player in fishery sector. Okay, so this is from geoeconomics perspective. So, but however, we do have geosecurity perspective. That is the characteristics of Southeast Asia from geosecurity perspective. So, as we saw earlier, like in ASEAN, so that was ASEAN specific. Even in Southeast Asia, so we have this infamous golden triangle. So, drug is one of the important geosecurity issues. So, first one below under this geosecurity, so write down illegal drug trade from the golden triangle, illegal drug trade from the golden triangle, illegal drug trade from the golden triangle. This is one geosecurity issue. And second geosecurity issue is that in Myanmar, Thailand, in this region, Philippines, in this region, human trafficking is very very common. Say human trafficking is very common in Myanmar, Thailand, Philippines. So this is again causing a lot of security issues. So write down here, human trafficking issues, human trafficking issues in Myanmar, Thailand, Philippines. In Myanmar, Thailand, Philippines. Gangola Golden Triangle is Myanmar, Thailand, Laos. So if you see here, yeah, this image, Myanmar, Thailand, yeah, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos. So this we call it as Golden Triangle. So in this region, so there is a illegal drug cultivation. In this region, there is illegal drug cultivation. So we call this as a Golden Triangle. So that is Golden Triangle. Okay, geostrategy. So second one is human trafficking. Human trafficking is famous or say rather infamous in Myanmar, Thailand and Philippines. So this is again security concern. And the next one is in the recent times there is a lot of cyber crimes, cyber crimes originating from Southeast Asian region. Cyber crimes originating from Southeast Asian regions. Next one, religious radicalization, religious radicalization. Next security concern is that religious radicalization, religious radicalization. So be it in say Indonesia or say in Myanmar or Philippines, Malaysia to some extent. So these regions, there is religious radicalization. In a sense, on the name of some religion, majoritarianism is being promoted. So this is creating geosecurity issues in the region. So this is the general characteristics of Southeast Asia region. Now let us see the evolution of India Southeast Asia region. So right on here, evolution of India Southeast Asia Asian regions relation. So right on this, evolution of India Southeast Asian regions Southeast Asian regions relation. Okay, so in the relation with Southeast Asia, so let us understand the relation with Southeast Asia. It is not something new. Since ancient times, India had a close relation with the Southeast Asia. If you see here, so since ancient times, say that is Buddhism. Buddhism was one of the factor. From that, we are having a good relation with the Southeast Asia. And again here, if you consider, say, the Southern Empire, so the Southern Empire, be it Cholas or Pandyas, they had great influence in the Southeast Asian region. You would have seen many temples in Indonesia or say Cambodia, etc. In this region, you will see many temples also, Hindu temples. So we that was influenced by the Southern Empire kingdoms. The southern Indian kingdoms influenced those regions. So even during the ancient and medieval times, we had good relation with the Southeast Asia. So right on here, ancient and medieval period, ancient and medieval period, ancient and medieval period. Through Buddhism and Hinduism, India had close ties. Through Buddhism and Hinduism, India had close ties with India had close ties with Southeast Asian region. India had close ties with Southeast Asian regions. India had close ties with Southeast Asian regions. Southeast Asian regions. Secondly, the Southern Indian Empire, the South Indian empires, the South Indian kingdoms, like Cholas, like Cholas, Pandyas, had trade relation, had trade relation with Southeast Asian region, had trade relation with Southeast Asian region, Southeast Asian region. So this was during the ancient times. And even during the colonial period, Myanmar was under British Empire. So we had contacts with the Southeast Asian region also. Even during colonial period, we had contacts with the Southeast Asian region. But however, after India's independence, so what we do, we did not have initially after India's independence, we did not focus a lot on Southeast Asian region, because geographically it was distant, and we focused on initial focus was on the neighborhood. And there were problems within India itself. We had high poverty, low education, very bad healthcare status, etc. So we had to focus, and on top of it there were wars. So 1947 there was a war with Pakistan, 62 war, 65 war, 71 war. So in the initial period, India did not much focus on this region, that is this Southeast Asian region. So we neglected it. So right on here, so the reason being that it's not that India wasn't interested. India had other works to do, and since it was geographically far away, India had other works to do. So that's the reason, right? So it's not that there was no enmity between India and Southeast Asian countries. It is just that we had other works, other business to do, fine. So right down here, India's relation. So post independence, 1950 to 1990. It was only after USSR. Now correlate India's neighborhood policy. That is, after the disintegration of USSR, what did we do? We started look east policy. When did we start look east policy? 1991. So it was after 1991 we had a dedicated policy towards Southeast Asia. But before that, we were busy with our own work. So that's the reason. Fine. Okay. So write down here, post independence and Cold War era. That is 1950s to 1990s. India's relation with Southeast Asia was limited. India's relation with Southeast Asia was limited due to due to due to first one, write down, geographical distance. Due to first one is geographical distance. Due to first one, geographical distance. Second one, India's regional matters, South Asia's regional matters. Sorry, South South Asia's regional matter, regional issues, South Asia's regional issues, like frequent wars. Yeah, like frequent wars, like frequent wars. Okay, so because of these two factors, we did not have an active engagement with Southeast Asia. But however, after 1991, we had a dedicated policy. That is, post 1991, we had a dedicated policy towards the Southeast Asian region. So write down here. Again here, so write down lookist policy since 1990. Lookist policy since 1990. Lookist policy since 1990. Lookist policy since 1990. So write down, post the disintegration, post the disintegration, post the disintegration of USSR, post the disintegration of USSR, the world became unipolar. The world became unipolar, led by USA. The world became unipolar, led by USA. Led by USA. Led by USA. Fine. It was led by USA. India opted. India opted lookist policy. India opted lookist policy to increase its economic engagement. To increase its economic engagement with. To increase its economic engagement with the Southeast Asian region. To increase its economic engagement with the Southeast Asian region. With the Southeast Asian region. With the Southeast Asian region. Fine. So it was after lookist policy, we actively engaged with the Southeast Asian region. And again here, below this write down. So below this write down, post 2014, post 2014, the lookist policy was upgraded to Act East policy. Post 2014, the lookist policy was upgraded to Act East policy. The lookist policy was upgraded to Act East policy. Act East policy, which further strengthened India's ties with Southeast Asia, which further strengthened India's ties with Southeast Asia. India's ties with Southeast Asia. Okay, so below this write down, next one write down, geo-economics engagement. So we'll see what is the geo-economics engagement between India and Southeast Asia. So write down here, India and Southeast Asia, geo-economics engagement. Geo-economics engagement. So pointers, you should have a better idea that is what is the geoeconomic engagement between India and South Asia. Few facts that you have to remember. ASEAN is the fourth largest trading partner. In for India, ASEAN is the fourth largest trading partner. Who is the first largest trading partner? It is China. So all this boycott China and all. ठीक है, that's fine. That's on social media. But however, don't think that we have stopped importing or say exporting to China. So after that trend. So even today, China is the largest trading partner. So the fourth largest trading partner is ASEAN. So right on here, first point is ASEAN countries is the fourth largest trading partner. ASEAN countries are the fourth largest trading partner of India. Fourth largest trading partner of India. ASEAN is the fourth largest trading partner. So second geoeconomics is that between India and ASEAN we have signed a free trade agreement. So both India and ASEAN have signed. So right on second point, right on, both India and ASEAN have signed free trade agreement. Have signed free trade agreement. Both India and ASEAN have signed free trade agreement. Have signed free trade agreement. Have signed free trade agreement to boost trade and investment. To boost trade and investment. To boost trade and investment. India, India, India and ASEAN, India and ASEAN are focusing on connectivity and infrastructure projects. India and ASEAN are focusing on connectivity and infrastructure projects. Connectivity and infrastructure projects. Connectivity and infrastructure projects. Example, connectivity and infrastructure projects. Example, India, Myanmar, Thailand, IMT. India, Myanmar, Thailand corridor. India, Myanmar, Thailand corridor. Example, India, Myanmar, Thailand corridor. Fine. So this is the broad geoeconomics, but however, further we'll go in detail. So we'll have to understand what do we import from Southeast Asia and what are we exporting to Southeast Asia. So what are we importing from Southeast Asia? If you see the important commodities that India imports from Southeast Asia and important commodities that India exports to Southeast Asia. So again, you should have a fair idea. It is not that you have to memorize it. You should have a fair idea regarding what are the commodities that we export. And we know that India is considered as a pharmacy capital of the world. Again here, if you see here guys, there's a tip I'm giving over here. These are the commodities which we export to all the countries. So not just Southeast Asia, to Central Asia, West Asia, because this is where we have our advantage. India is a pharmaceutical hub, so we export pharmaceutical. India has engineering goods, in the sense the spare parts. We don't build BMW cars and export. The spare parts, all the spare parts we build it, because we have cheap labor. We have cheap labor and we have iron resources. Iron ore are there. We have cheap labor. Because of that, we have technology. We have skilled person, cheap labor. We have iron ore. Because of that, we build engineered goods and we export it. And next one is chemicals. So we have a lot of oil refineries. Since we have a lot of oil refineries, chemicals, so on the raw materials for the chemicals will come from oil refineries. So can we export a lot of chemicals and agriculture products. India is an agrarian country. 60% of India's workforce is in agriculture. So these are the commodities that we export to Southeast Asia. So if you're writing any answer, so these are the commodities that we export to every country, say be it say Europe, Africa, Southeast Asia, Middle East, Central Asia, everything. So understood. So these are the countries, these are the commodities that we export to Southeast Asia. But however, what are the commodities that we import from Southeast Asia? crude oil, mainly from Brunei. We import a lot of crude oil. The crude oil is imported from Brunei. Next one, palm oil is imported from Indonesia, mainly from Indonesia. Electronics and machineries, these are imported from Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, this region. So just have a broad understanding. Please write down this table. So you need not know the country specific. Since we are speaking from the region specific, you need not know the country specific, but write down this tabular column, and again next to this tabular column hint it. So this one will remain the same. So this one will remain the same for all the countries, because this is where we have the edge. This is where we can provide the goods at a cheaper price. So this one will remain the same for all the region, but this keeps changing. Fine. So please write down this. Write down this map, this tabular column. Write down this tabular column, please. Fine. So got it? Done? Is it okay? Shall we go to the next slide? Okay, Sridhar. Fine. So, fine. Chalo then. We'll see. Again here, see, when you go through our India's foreign relation, what was the change that we took in 1991? Before 1991, our foreign policy was guided by the security lens. But after 1991, our foreign policy was guided by economic lens. That is, we wanted to get economic benefits from foreign policy. Earlier, before 1991, we wanted to get security benefits from from foreign policy. That's the reason after 1991, with whichever country we deal with, there is more of an economic aspect, not regarding security aspect. Be it Central Asia. Why Central Asia? Which country will give us arms? No one will give us arms. But it is from economics perspective. There are a lot of minerals in Central Asia. Central Asia is a big market. Again, in Southeast Asia, which country will give us weapons? In fact, we are giving weapons. We are giving BrahMos to Southeast Asian countries. So there's no economic security engagement as such. We are one of the security powers in the world. So there's no security engagement with other countries as such. After 1991, whatever the foreign relations that we are taking, it's from the economics perspective mainly. Here and there are some security deals. That is with a big power. Say with US, we'll have security deals. With Russia, will have security deals. It's only in the recent time this France, Israel, these are like very small players, very small players compared to US and Russia. So with US and Russia, we have good security dealings. But it's in the recent times, Israel, France, these are like minor players. They are emerging one, but yeah, this is what you have to understand. Now let us see the security engagements. Security engagements. Uh, uh, what's the here? Yeah, fine. Wait, so write down here security engagements. So from a foreign policy perspective, we do not have a great security engagement as such with Southeast Asia. We are not much concerned with security perspective with Southeast Asia. From Southeast Asia, we want economic development. That's it. We are more interested in economic perspective from Southeast Asia. That's it. So, but however, we do have some security engagements. So write down here. So. India conducts military exercises. So security engagements, right on. India conducts military exercises. India conducts military exercises with Southeast Asian countries. With Southeast Asian countries. With Southeast Asian countries. With Southeast Asian countries. Example, military exercise, that is maritime exercise with India ASEAN. Maritime exercise with India ASEAN. Maritime exercise with India ASEAN. Again, we don't see Southeast Asian region as anything from security aspects, but however, yeah, fine. So this is the reason. And again here, but however, Southeast Asian region is strategically important for India. I'll take for another 5 minutes. Is it okay? I'll extend the class by 5 minutes so that I don't want to give a break. We'll wind up this. Fine. Okay. Okay. So please focus here. So Southeast Asia, as we saw earlier, Southeast Asia has a lot of strategic importance from India's perspective. So why Southeast Asia is strategically important from India's perspective? So right on here. So India's geostrategic importance, interest in Southeast Asia. India's geostrategic importance in Southeast Asia. Yeah, first one is to counter China's influence. To counter China's to counter China's influence. To counter China's influence. First one is to counter China's influence. Yeah, first one is to counter China's influence, and the second one is, so right on here. Second one is maintaining freedom of navigation. To maintain freedom of navigation in the South China Sea. See again here, if we have to export any goods to Japan, South Korea, that region, South China Sea plays very important role. If we have to any goods, if we have to export any goods to any of this Southeast Asian countries, South China Sea is very important. If you have to export any goods to say Japan, South Korea, South China Sea is crucial, very important. So maintaining freedom of navigation in South China Sea is crucial for India also. That is the second point, is maintaining freedom of navigation in South China Sea. In South China Sea. Next one is strengthening. Next one is strengthening economic ties with Southeast Asian region. Strengthening economic ties, strengthening economic ties with Southeast Asia. And the last or the most important one is countering to counter illegal drugs and arms supply. To counter illegal drugs and arms, illegal drugs and arms supply, illegal drugs and arms supply in the region, illegal drugs and arms supply in the region. Fine. So these are the geostrategic importance from India's perspective, that is India's perspective regarding Southeast Asia. But there are other importance also, other engagements between India and Southeast Asia. Write down few other engagements. Just write down other engagements. Other engagements with we'll wind up in 2 minutes. Other engagements in India, other engagements between India and Southeast Asia. See, Southeast Asia and India has a lot of common things. One is Buddhism, and the next one is Hinduism. Hinduism, in the sense, there are a lot of temples, Hindu temples in Southeast Asian region. So, cultural exchange and tourism is the one important area where we can focus. So, first one, write down cultural exchanges and tourism. Cultural exchanges, other engagements, other between other, that write down cultural engagements and tourism. Cultural engagements and tourism. First one, cultural exchange and tourism. Next one is pharmaceutical collaborations. Pharmaceutical collaborations. Because India has a lot of generic medicines. In order to expand its base, Southeast Asia is very crucial in the sense they have a lot of investment. And we can say, for example, if you consider, say, Dr. Reddy's. So Dr. Reddy's laboratory is one of the important or say pharmaceutical companies in India. So they have started expanding to Southeast Asian region. So there's a lot of scope. Both Southeast Asia and Southeast Asia and India can work together in pharmaceutical collaborations. So next point is pharmaceutical collaborations, and the third one is education. That is education and academic exchange. Education and academic exchanges. Education and academic exchanges. So in this, that is exchanging, and that is the, collaborating in terms of research and development, collaborate student exchange program. So these are the other engagements that are happening between India and Southeast Asian countries. So fine. So these are the broad engagement, other engagements. Now let us see, just write on this point, and tomorrow we'll take up this, that is challenges in India Southeast Asia engagement. Challenges in India Southeast Asia engagements. Challenges in India Southeast Asia engagement. Fine. Okay. So tomorrow we'll take up this, and then later on we'll start with Central Asia. So we'll have to complete Central Asia. I think Central Asia is a small area itself. So small topics. We'll complete Central Asia, and then we'll take up West Asia. So we'll tomorrow we'll be completing Central Asia, and then we'll be taking up West Asia. So in the meanwhile, for the people who wrote yesterday's answer, yesterday I was very busy. Morning I had a class, evening I had a class. So quite busy. So for the people who gave your PDFs yesterday, I'll evaluate it now. After the class, I'll evaluate it, and others please write answers and send it. I'll evaluate. I'll evaluate the papers. Fine. Okay, Stephen. We'll do that. Fine. Okay. Sure, Anjali. I will. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So chalo then. Email ID. Yeah. Fine. Okay. Please. Okay, I will. That's what. Yesterday, if you have sent yesterday, I will evaluate it. So today I'll evaluate it. Fine. Okay. Okay, got it. So chalo then. If anyone's paper have been missed, either the thing is that either you would not have written your email ID, either the you would not have renamed the PDF as your email ID, or either there's no email ID on top of the answer. Those PDFs are remaining. I have to find out whose PDF is that, and then I'll email it. That will take time. Or if you haven't received the reply, just resend that in the same email chain. I will evaluate it. Fine. Yeah, yesterday's class. I will ask the consent team here. I'll ask the consent team. Fine. Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. So chalo then. So thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you.